Welcome back to the Spoonie and Caregiver Life podcast with me, your host, Jordan Banderas. And before we get started, don't forget to subscribe so you don't miss any episodes of the podcast. And let's go ahead and get into today's episode, shall we? Now, on today's episode, I want to talk about something that someone once told me a long time ago, and I completely forgot about it. But what this person said to me is to not look at things as problems in life, but to look at them as a challenge. Like I said, I was told this a long time ago, so I completely forgot about it. But then when my wife got sick and everything started to happen, like we lost our business, we literally went bankrupt and everything, I was like, there's gotta be a way for me to be able to help my wife. Like, how can I help her? And then I remember this particular phrase. And when I remember it, I was like thinking a lot about it, and the more I thought about it, I started to remember, like, you know what, I can do this because I'm a very competitive guy. I really am. Like, I like to compete. I like to push myself sometimes to the extreme. But I was like, maybe I can do this. So I was like, I'm going to try turning my problems into challenges. And I even asked myself, like, what's the worst that could happen? Because if I fix the problem, great. If the problem still is there after I try this, then pretty much nothing changes. So what's the worst that could happen, right? So when I decided to do this, one of the things that I decided to do after that is to start researching each and every one of my wife's conditions. I have spent hours and so many hours listening to podcasts, reading articles, Googling into the dark hole about every possible scenario with my wife's symptoms and conditions. This is due to all this competitive spirit that I have in me, and because of that, I have made it my mission to try to understand how I can help her, because after all, she's my wife and I want to see her better. So now when we go to the doctor's appointments, I'm more educated now because of all the information that I have been able to find and gather. And that's something that the doctors hate. Like, I'm going to tell you this. If you go to a doctor's appointment and you're more educated than them, or you know more than them, they get mad. And I've been able to achieve this, though, because I have been able to turn the problem of my wife being chronically ill into a challenge. That's why I love this challenge, especially when I can tell the doctors that they're wrong and I have the facts. Now, because obviously if you decide to do this, you also have to take care of yourself. One of the things that I've been able to do as well is that by taking this challenge that my wife is ill, I have also found ways to help myself too. Because the way that I see it is that if I get sick, then who's going to take care of my wife? If something happens to me, who's going to take care of my wife? And if you're a caregiver, I think, this is just my opinion, you should ask yourself the same question. If something happens to me, who's going to be able to take care of my wife or my kid or whoever you have to take care of, the same way that you take care of them? In my case, I have seen it. Like, if something happens to me, like, nobody will be able to take care of my wife the way that I do, because they wouldn't be able to be with her 24/7. So what I've been able to do in this situation to stay healthier, now I've been working out, I've been reading a lot so I can gather more information, I've been staying healthy, I've been eating a little bit healthier, I've been meditating, walking my dogs, and I'm even changing, like I said, the way that I eat, which is something huge for me, because if you've been a long time listener of the podcast, you will understand that, or probably you have heard that I love candy and I love food in general. So I'm a foodie, and changing the way that I eat has been so hard on me because I love food. Like there's nothing wrong with loving food, but everything has to have a balance. So I have learned one of the things that I've been able to do with all of this that I've been doing by turning a problem into a challenge is that I have learned that my life changed, but I can still take care of myself, and things have finally started to change for the better, which is something that a lot of us as caregivers and even as spoonies we hope for. We hope to have that upswing where things are starting to look brighter. And this is true though. Because of me doing this, the person I was 4 years ago when all of this started is pretty much a thing of the past. I'm a completely different person. And that's one of the things that I love about this particular journey is that it has changed me for the better. And because it has changed me for the better and my competitiveness and me willing or deciding to take this challenge, I feel like an athlete training to win the gold medal. I have had to improve my strengths so I can take all of these challenges head on. Now, another good thing, at least that's the way that I see it from my perspective in this situation, is that because of me doing this, people have noticed the changes in myself and have asked me, like, what are you doing differently? Because they see that I'm able to handle all this stress, and a lot of people unfortunately don't handle stress very well, which obviously causes a lot of problems. So I just tell them that I changed my perspective from seeing things going on in my life as problems, I changed my perspective from seeing the things going on in my life as problems. Now I see them as challenges. And I have chosen to handle everything differently, like the way that I used to do them before. Now I do the complete opposite, and that has helped me a lot. So because of me telling them this, sometimes I feel like I rub off on them because they can see the difference in the old me versus the work in progress that I am, and that is also extremely important because the first person that's going to be able to see that on me or in you is going to be your spoonie, especially if your spoonie is your wife. Like, I'm with my wife 24/7 pretty much, so she sees those changes. So she sees that if I can change, then she can change, and that she can actually get better. So that's a good thing. Now, because of all of these changes that I have decided to make when I took everything as a challenge and not as a problem, I had a hope to influence people, because I was like, if I can change myself and people can see it, probably that can help them. And the first person that I see that is with my wife. Like I said, she has been able to improve herself. She's getting a little bit better, not at 100%, but hey, 1% is better than no percent. So I hope that I'm a positive influence on people, especially since completing therapy, and that maybe I can help just one more person after I help my wife, after helping my wife. And I hope they can possibly see things differently in their life or lives of their family, because the family suffers as well. We might not see it, but they do suffer as well. Especially right now, because so many people are experiencing problems everywhere. We have the pandemic, the job losses, the finances getting sometimes destroyed. We have sickness because stress can make you sick. And then I could go on and on and on, but the list will never end. And one thing that I want to tell you is that problems are everywhere. And you never know what people are going through behind closed doors, especially as spoonies and caregivers. Now, one thing that I do want to say, and I'm going to say this a lot probably in the episodes, is that remember it is okay to reach out for help. I have had to learn to ask for help with my wife. Like, I think I have mentioned this in a previous episode where I wanted to take everything on my own. I was like, no, I'm the husband, I'm the caregiver, I can do it all. Well, that's not how it works. You need to have a team. And like I mentioned just a few minutes ago in the episode, I feel like an athlete trying to win the gold medal, so I'm training. And an athlete has a team, it has a coach, it has all these people behind them that helps them. So we need the same thing. So don't be afraid, don't feel bad for asking for help when it comes to the care of your spoonie or even help for yourself. Because it was hard for me at first. But then I realized that people do care. And it's also not a weakness to ask for help, especially when facing a challenge. So with that said, do not feel shame to ask for help. And let me repeat it again because I feel like this needs to be repeated. Do not feel ashamed for asking for help. All of us have problems, and don't leave the Instagram or Facebook lives that are sometimes portrayed. That's so true because we want to portray something completely different than what's going on in our lives. We don't want to show sickness. We don't want to show weakness. We don't want to show that we're having problems. But when you take it as a challenge, sometimes people will cheer you on, to be honest. And before I end the episode, I do want to say this because this is the reason why I started the community. If you have a challenge that you feel that you can't handle, you can always reach out to me. You can always reach out to the community, the Spoonie and Caregiver Life community. And maybe we can actually help you. If you ask the questions, maybe we can give you the answers that you might be looking for. We can give you some ideas on how to handle the challenge, but we are here to support you. That's the reason why I started all of this, to show you that you're not alone and there's people out there that do care, that are going through the same thing and that are going to help you. Because I know what it's like to feel alone in a situation like this where you have to take care of your spouse or somebody, or you're a caregiver, or you're a spoonie yourself and you're alone, So don't feel like that, and go to our community if you need help. Ask for help, ask the questions, and we will try to support you as much as possible. So with that said, that's pretty much what I have for you guys today. I hope you guys are enjoying the episode. Thank you for your time. Thank you for listening. Thank you for the new listeners. Thank you for the new supporters. I really, really appreciate it, how we're growing as a community or as a whole. And don't forget to share, like, and subscribe. And also don't forget to follow us on TikTok, Instagram, Facebook, and YouTube. Sorry, I almost forgot. And YouTube. And also, thanks to you, we're growing. So keep sharing, keep recommending the podcast, because the more we grow, the more people we can reach, and the more people we can help. And if you want to share your story or reach out to me personally, you can send me an IM, or you can send me an email at the Spoonie and Caregiver Life at gmail.com. And I'll leave you like always. as always, take care of yourself and have a great day.